All right, on to what I think is a fascinating and very curious story. I'll tell you what I know so far before I introduce our guest. Simon Street, Auckland, yesterday I see a post on social media of a billboard on, and I'm not sure if it was digital or paper, on a bus stop in Simon Street, Auckland, that says Intifada Now. And it has a clenched fist in the colours of the Palestinian flag with the words, I think, Intifada Now. And Intifada is like a holy war. It's not quite a jihad. Intifada is a term for revolution, for uprising, and has connotations of violence. And it seemed pretty clear to me that this particular poster or billboard was the sort of thing that John Minto would like, was a call for violence, revolution over the Israeli government's or the IDF's offensive in Gaza to liberate hostages and take out terrorists. Who would run such an ad in New Zealand? What advertising company or billboard company would accept such an ad, given that outfits like Family First can't run ads that say a woman's a woman? And I was really curious about it. I got really busy yesterday, but I did know that the Free Speech Union, and I understood too, the Jewish Association of New Zealand were interested in the ad and what had gone on. And I'll be quite frank, yesterday I got so busy, I didn't really unpack everything that had happened in regards to that story. But no problem, because David Cumin, who is with the Israel Institute, spokesman for them, and also with the Free Speech Union, joins us on the line now. David, thank you very much indeed for taking the time to talk to us early this morning.
Thank you, Sean. All
right, David, this was curious. What went down here?
That's one word for it. So a member of the Free Speech Union saw these posters up and sent them through to us to say, this seems a little bit hypocritical and double standards to have something like this, which is essentially can be interpreted as calling for violence. The intifadas in Israel were times of mass terrorism against Israelis and Jews. There were suicide bombings outside nightclubs and pizzerias. There were thousands of people murdered. And, of course, in response to that, Israel set up security measures that the Arab Palestinians have long lamented. And so it's been a catastrophe for everyone. And so signs that can be interpreted as calling for violence and wanting suicide bombings up in Auckland when, as you said, signs that have the dictionary definition of a woman have not been accepted by advertising companies.
David, were these in billboard slots? Or
yes,
just post? Okay, so they were in paid billboard slots.
Yes, although I think it's only fair to the company that runs the billboards and their partner that they claim that they were put in there without their knowledge, and that they're taking it very seriously to investigate how this has happened. The posters were apparently put up in the billboards behind the glass illegally.
Wow. Now, this is interesting, David, because I've been doing a little bit of research this morning. The same thing is happening in the tubes in Britain.
Well, that's...
So this appears to be a global strategy.
Well, it's unsurprising because we've seen this sort of behaviour in protests as well. We've heard Joe Caroline of Unite Union, for example, call to globalise the Intifada, and those are chants that have been imported from offshore as well. The whole movement, of course, is an offshore movement, so it's unsurprising that this has happened somewhere else first.
Do we know how many billboards, and I guess you'd say were vandalised or hijacked, I think, and that's the term that the British press are using for what's happened in the subways there. Do we know how many?
No, not at this stage. I've only seen a picture of one, although I've heard people say that there has been a series of them.
All right. Now, and I think out of respect for them, because they weren't involved, I don't want to name the media company, the billboard company that was involved. So it wasn't that I had wondered if they were digital billboards and their digital stuff had been hacked, but you're saying it was just physically these posters two size being inserted illegally into these billboard slots?
I think that seems to be the case. And so we'll wait to hear back from the Billboard company and their partner about what they find out about how that might have happened.
All right.
It is interesting to note, though, that the Billboard company didn't explicitly say that they would not have accepted those posters.
Okay, I get you. But they hadn't been approached for it. So you think they are innocents in this?
I think so. I think that their response seems quite genuine, that they have been taken aback. They've taken the posters down and are investigating, so I have no reason to think that they are disingenuous about this.
All right. And is there any police investigation, or have they complained to the police?
I'm not sure. No one said that they have, so I don't think so at this stage.
Boy, this is a curious story, because I've never heard of this happening before, but so interesting it's happening in London at the same time. And I think you might find, if you look around the world, that there are more stories like this popping up. David, interesting too, though, you wear two caps, Israel Institute and Free Speech Union. What's wrong with having a billboard that says Intifada now if you're into free speech?
No, I deliberately signed the Free Speech Union letter that went out because I wear these two hats, and it should be clear to people that I abhor the message. I think it is a despicable message to send, and I look forward to all of the people that say they're against hate speech to similarly condemn this, what can be interpreted as incitement to violence. And I will defend their right to say it.
Okay, so we got two issues here. You don't like the message, but you believe... Okay, well, here's the question for you, David. If these people who have hijacked these billboard sites, if they'd gone to the billboard company and wanted to run that ad or that billboard, should they have been allowed to?
Yes, I think the wrinkle in that, or the nuance that comes with that, is, of course, there is the Advertising Standards Authority, and they have a code of practice.